Hi, everybody. This is the video for Module 11, which deals with powers or exponents and roots. It's a relatively short video with just a couple of examples. So with that, we'll jump into the problems. I'll share my screen and we will get started. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started with our first problem. We're going to focus on powers and exponents here first. So our job is to simplify the power. The word power refers to this entire expression. There's two parts to the expression. There's the bigger number, which is called the base, the 2, and then the smaller number that's kind of written in that superscript that's kind of up above, that smaller number, that's the 5, that's the actual exponent that we're going to deal with. So what we want to do to simplify it is a power is basically a shorthand way of writing repeated multiplication. So it's basically a situation where we want to take a number and multiply it by itself a certain number of times. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the base. And again, the base is 2 in this case. That's the number that's going to be multiplied. All right. The exponent is the number of times that we're going to multiply that base, or the number of 2's that we need to multiply. So 2 to the 5th power simply means that we're going to take the number 2 times itself 5 times. 5 2's are going to be multiplied together. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 32. And that's really all there is to it. The key that you have to remember is kind of just what the notation means and what you have to do to simplify. A lot of times people get these confused with like straight multiplication, and they think they got to take like 2 times 5, you know. That's where you got to be careful. It's 2 to the 5th power means take the 2 5 times, multiply it 5 times to get an answer of, in this case, 32. Okay. All right, so that's basically all there is to it when it comes to working with powers. The other situation, the opposite of a power, is dealing with a root. Okay, so in this case, we're going to focus on what we call the square root. We want to find the square root of 121 in this particular problem. And basically what the square root means is we're going to try and figure out what number you can multiply by itself to get, in this case, 121. All right. So when we write it out, it basically kind of looks like trying to figure out this problem where we want to take a number and again multiply it by itself to equal 121. So to do this, probably the easiest way is to use a calculator and use the square root button on your calculator. And that's usually the case with a lot of numbers, because a lot of times you'll have square roots that are weird decimals. Okay, but there are cases where it does work out and turn out to be a really nice value. That's what's called a perfect square, a number that where you can find like a whole number, something that doesn't involve a weird decimal. In this case, if I take 11 times 11 is 121. So 121 is a perfect square because it has a nice square root. Okay? But that's basically what I'm trying to do here, is I'm trying to figure out what that number is that I can multiply by itself to get 121. Like I said, most of the time when you're dealing with square roots, you're going to use your calculator to figure out what the answer is. But there are times where you can figure it out pretty easily by either guessing and testing, or it might be just a common one that you know the answer to that you can figure out. All right, so there you go. Again, a pretty quick video this time around, with just some quick examples of powers and roots. Remember, power is taking a number times itself, a certain number of times to get the answer. Square root is the opposite of that, figuring out what number you can take times itself to equal the number that you want to end up with when after you multiply. Hopefully these couple of examples refresh your memory about those couple of processes. If you do have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video and good luck as you work on your homework and get ready for the quizzes.